Well, the Associate Superintendent for Culturally and Linguistically Responsive Initiatives, welcome to the first annual in-person and live-streamed presentation of the Buffalo Public Schools State of the Schools Address. And thank you for attending. Our in-person address is being held at City Honor School, where Dr. William Cressy is the building principal. We will now have a presentation of the colors, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance, and then the national anthem. The presentation of the colors will feature cadets from the Hutchinson Technical High School. The students are First Lieutenant Anaya Ramos, Cadet Captain Noor Abadri, Sergeant First Class Efnan Buyan, Cadet Lieutenant Luwaige Paul, Cadet Lieutenant, and additionally, we have their lead from Hutch Tech. The Pledge of Allegiance will be offered in Spanish as well as in English, and will be recited by Atika Mwalimu, Francis J. Garcia Rodriguez, and Caleb J. Garcia Rodriguez.
I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Juro fidelidad a la bandera de los Estados Unidos de América y a la república que representa, una nación bajo el poder de Dios, indivisible, con libertad y justicia para todos.
Say does that star-spangled
Thank you, and please be seated. Let's give another round of applause to our talented students and staff. Our theme for today's event is equity for all in all that we do. Our story for today is one in which we celebrate a new and exciting vision for the Buffalo Public Schools. Under the dynamic leadership of our newly appointed Superintendent, Dr. Tonja Williams, a new standard which welcomes all and which demands excellence in all that we do has been established. Certainly, all who are present in person or those who are watching this live broadcast is considered a very special guest. We want to take this opportunity to identify the following persons and groups for their continued support of our school district. The Buffalo Public Schools Board of Education's president and members, school principals and assistant principals and all school staff, centralized and off-site leaders and staff members, our many dedicated teachers, counselors, nurses, psychologists, clerks, custodians, and cafeteria staff, along with our teacher assistants and aides, our parents and community, the mayor of the city of Buffalo, Byron W. Brown, and his staff, Senator Sean Ryan, representatives from New York State Assemblywoman Crystal Peoples-Stokes' office, our Common Council members, the Western New York delegation members, all county government leaders and staff, our parent Congress leads and all of the BPS parents in the BPS district, all of our union labor force leadership and members, the executive director of Say Yes Buffalo, David Russ, and all of his staff, all of our university partners, our faith-based partners, and finally, all business and civic leaders, along with all school-based partners, and a huge thank you to our brilliant scholars. Thank you all for supporting our children and families every day. It is important to identify these individuals and groups because each is essential to the success of our school district and to the families and children that our district deserves. We truly appreciate all of you taking the time to be a part of this program. It is now my distinct honor to present the Buffalo Public Schools Board of Education. President Mr. Louis Petrucci, who is a graduate of City Honor School. He will be followed by Mrs. Sharon Belton Copman, who serves as an elected member of the Board of Education and who has recently been appointed to the role of chairperson of the Conference of the Big Five School Districts in New York State. Each will bring forth greetings. President.
Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone's doing well. So, my wife, I've been married for 30-some years, but my wife has a photo of me when I was first elected to the school board, and she has a photo of me now on the school board. If you turn to page 4, you'll see the photo from 2007, and you can see my hair right now. So my wife says it's because of the school board. I say it's because of my 4 daughters, but I think the truth is probably a little combination of each. So first of all, thank you all for being here. It's always great to be back at my alma mater. This building always is so impressive to me because when I was here, we still had the front lawn and we'd have picnics on the front lawn. But this is a very beautiful space. It means that I don't have to, or people here don't have to go over to East High School to go swimming because I used to have to swim at East. But that's another story. So the other day, a reporter asked me, how can you as board president consider it a new day for the Buffalo Public Schools when the same problems exist? It is a new day. We have a new superintendent, Dr. Williams, and all of her admirable qualities that will serve the district well: transparency, outreach, relationships with the community, and we can see how those traits have manifested themselves in tangible ways, like 10 of the district's 11 union contracts being settled, like record numbers of people wanting to work for, and just as importantly, wanting to work with the district to accomplish our goals. Dr. Williams' swearing-in ceremony in council chambers reflected the broad-based support and hope for the district to achieve its goal of high academic standards. And both of us, the superintendent and myself, are proud products of the district. I mentioned that and give a shout out to my fellow board members and district staff that are also fellow proud BPS products, because I truly believe it makes a difference when you talk to people about the buildings and the programs firsthand. You know, these are your relatives, your friends, your coworkers, your neighbors, and the experience that you have as well. And parents, when they interact with us, can see that, because we are, and we're proud to carry on that fine tradition that we have here. But the reporter did make a point. There are still challenges that the district faces: bus driver and bus aide shortages, teacher shortages, an outstanding teacher contract that we'd like settled sooner than later. But those challenges exist despite the superintendent, not because of Dr. Williams. Too often, problems in the community are an aggregation of what we are experiencing locally or problems that are occurring at the national level. And we are challenged to find local solutions to these national problems. We are challenged to resolve community issues that spill over into our schools. We are challenged to communicate about the great programs and support systems that the district has and to increase the number of BPS families participating in them, because when they do, we will see great results. But despite these challenges, I can think of few people who are as qualified or dedicated to the challenge and deeply, personally committed to the type of positive change that all of us would like to see as Dr. Williams and her staff. I believe that under her leadership and vision, the district will continue to build upon the accomplishments and will be the district that we have all worked for, strived for, to achieve over the last few years. I ask that you join me in wishing Dr. Williams well and thanking her staff, our administrators, aides, assistants, our bus aides, our drivers, our crossing guards, custodians, cafeteria workers, support staff, everyone who make everyone who work every day to make the district a much better place, because it's through all of their hard efforts that we achieve the goals that we set for ourselves. And I look forward to the future, more importantly, and what the district will accomplish under Dr. Williams' leadership and with all the support of our BPS family. So thank you all very much, and have a wonderful day.
Good morning, BPS family. Good morning. We are all family. We are here today because we have a common thread that runs through our blood, and we are about making BPS stronger. Thank you for this opportunity. Today I bring you greetings from the Big Five Conference of Great Schools. I'm sorry, let me correct that. The Conference of Big Five School Districts. And the reason I say it's great schools is because the Big Five consist of Buffalo School District, New York City, Rochester, Syracuse, Yonkers. Our affiliate members are Albany, Mount Vernon, Utica City Schools. We represent 46% of New York State's public school children. In addition to that, 66% of our students are of special needs. 71% of the pre-kindergarten students come to our Big Five school district schools. In addition to that, we have the highest rates of student mobility, homelessness, and students living in temporary shelters. So as you can see, the Big Five represents those in our state as well in our district who do not often have a voice, but who are often in need of support. The conference mission is accomplished by strong advocacy and our public information campaign. I can assure you that in February, when we go to Albany as a group to lobby and to ask our legislators for additional support, that we are well respected and treated very kindly because of the current leaders of our Big Five, our executive director, who is Jennifer Powell, and Cammie Dravis, who is our deputy director. So what I promise you today, as we move forward in the mission of Buffalo Public Schools, moving down the road into a new day, what I promise you is that the Big Five will continue to move forward, that in addition to that, under my leadership or my chairmanship, we will make sure that the issues of equity are up front and foremost, and we will make sure that the children who need the most are never forgotten. I want to thank Dr. Tonja Williams for this opportunity. I can share with you that this past week, I spent time with our leaders, our administrators, and our associate superintendents, our principals, in a leadership conference. And I am more inspired and more revitalized than I have ever been since my tenure of over 10 years. Know that as we move forward, Buffalo is set for a new day. We have new leadership who believes in our children, and I look forward to assisting her on her journey. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Board President Petrucci and Chairwoman Mrs. Belton-Cobman. We will now have a performance from the students at one of our early childhood schools, the Arthur O. Eve School of Distinction, number 61, which is the home of the Baby Arts in Gifted Talented program, where Mr. Nathaniel Barnes is the school's principal. The student's violin instructor is none other than Mr. Henri Mohammed. Please sit back and enjoy Ode to Joy by our littlest learners. Thank you. Wow. We have so much fine talent in our district, starting from our youngest learners, so I'm so very proud of them. Let us thank these talented and wonderful students, their principal, Mr. Barnes, and their instructor, Mr. Muhammad. We should also thank their parents. This is but one slither of an example of the talent that exists in the Buffalo Public School District. Thank you. The Buffalo Public Schools has embarked upon a new exciting partnership, which you will hear a bit about now. I would like to ask Mr. Jim Klubik to share brief remarks about this new and exciting partnership that was just created. Mr. Klubik, if you can please come forward. Mr. Klubik will be followed by the Executive Director of Say Yes Buffalo, Mr. David Rust, who will introduce our Superintendent of the Buffalo Public Schools. Thank you.
And by the way, thank you for putting me on stage after that performance. My name is Jim Klubik, and just to introduce myself, I was a teacher, a principal, a superintendent for 32 years, recently retired. And now what I'm doing is working with Wazad. And the way, I'm going to explain about what Wazad is, but how this came about is a very interesting story. Back in September of 2019, we had a demo that we were doing at the Pearl Street Brewery, and this lady came up to me, shy, timid, reserved, lady by the name of Sharon Belton Cotman. And she walked in the door, and then of course, everybody turned their attention toward her, and she came up to me and she said, "Hi, I'm Sharon Belton Cotman, and I'm the board president of Buffalo Schools. And we are going to get this program in our schools. And the reason we're going to get it in our schools is because kids deserve this. Kids deserve programs such as drones and coding and artificial intelligence and 3D printing. Because every school that does have it is successful, and we want to be successful as well." So that's how it came about. It's been a 3-year journey. And until Dr. Williams came on board, we were there, we were getting there, but she's the one that said, "Jim, this is going to be something that I'm going to take under my wing, and we are going to watch it grow and watch our students grow." And what Wazad is it is STEM programs. And what we need to do as educators, I spent 32 years in education doing it the wrong way. And most schools are doing it the wrong way. We send our students to kindergarten, and we tell them, "You're going to learn." And when they get finished with 12th grade, sure, we checked off that they met the standards and they're graduating, but then they get out and say, "Okay, now what do I do?" We need to flip that. We need to look at what are the opportunities out there for our students today. Where are the jobs? Where are the good paying high-tech jobs? And let's build that curriculum backwards and start teaching them the skills at kindergarten, so that when they do get out, they would have explored all of these different STEM programs to find their passion. Because when they find their passion, they're never going to work a day in their life. Thank you. And I was talking to Mr. Blanc earlier, and he was telling me about, how he does the photography. And we were talking about the drone program. And he said, "You do know that we have 3 drone pilots on staff that take pictures for us." And I said, "That's what I'm talking about. We want to find out where those jobs are and then train those students for those jobs." And so that was very exciting to hear that. I want to mention Dr. Williams again, because I think what the district needs and now has are visionaries. Anybody can talk about making change. It's the people that really do it. Absolutely. And when she called me the other night and asked me to come and speak, I was truly honored, because I want to be, and Wazad wants to be, a part of this renaissance that is taking place in Buffalo. And I truly appreciate being here. What are some of the benefits of our program? And I just want to make sure I explain all of them, just touch on them. We have a coding program. which is also software development, 3D printing, we have drones, cybersecurity, mobile app development, which is like developing apps for the phones, augmented and virtual reality, artificial intelligence, robotics, data science, and animation. Every single one of those programs has a negative unemployment rate, meaning that there are way more jobs available than there are people to fill those jobs. And that was Steve Wozniak's vision. Steve Wozniak started this company back in 2017. And as you know, he is the co-founder of Apple Computers, him along with Steve Jobs. And what he has been doing for the past 25 years is volunteering his time teaching in the Los Angeles School District. And he said, we are not doing a good job as a society of getting our students prepared for 21st century skills. And he wants to change that. And that's why Wazad was created. It was created to give students skills so that they can get out and get jobs. The other benefits that I see is student engagement. That's the number one key. A lot of problems in schools. I think I just broke your podium. I'm sorry. Don't lean on podium. A lot of the problems that exist in schools today can be solved by an engaging curriculum, because when students are engaged in lessons, they're going to show up to school. When you tell your child, you need to get up for school because you're flying a drone today, they're going to go to school. They're not going to be screwing around in class. They're going to be focused. They're going to have better grades because we're teaching them the engineering mindset. We're teaching them skills that are going to be transferable among all different subjects. So it truly is an exciting time. And right now is the beginning. We dabbled a little bit. We dabbled a little bit in the STEM programs and we've had success. So now Dr. Williams wants to make that district-wide. And I have my one last announcement to make. Buffalo, I'm getting a little choked up about this because it's exciting. Buffalo is now the first large urban Wazad pathway district in the world. In the world. And in November, Steve Wozniak himself will be inducting them into pathway status in Arizona. And we look forward to that. And once again, I am honored to be here, and I look forward to building this relationship over the next 3 to 4 years and coming back and telling you the wonderful results that are happening. So thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right, good morning, everyone. Great news, Jim, exciting to hear. This is a great day, this is a happy day. I'm honored to be up here introducing Dr. Tonja Williams today. I got chills when I received the ask, and I do right now. You know, Dr. Williams is somebody I have a tremendous amount of respect for, as do many, many people in this room. You know, she's worked for the Buffalo Public Schools for various levels for over 32 years. She's taught at Canisius, she's taught at Bryant and Stratton. She's worked in leadership roles in colleges at Johnson C. Smith in Charlotte and at Alfred University before coming to Buffalo to begin her career in the Buffalo schools. You know, her entire career, in short, has been focused on leading, teaching, counseling, and mentoring children. I think everybody has heard a lot of my personal stories about the relationship that Dr. Williams and I have at this point. I always like to layer a few in, though. Earlier this week, I took Dr. Williams to meet with one of our prominent business leaders. He was just blown away by her talent, blown away by her strategic plan, really interested to hear what the challenges are that are facing the schools as we enter another school year after a couple tough ones. You know, I won't get into the whole story about it. You know, he loved her intellect, but the big takeaway that he left with, which I think we all know, is how completely pure of heart Dr. Williams is, and that she is completely focused on students and families, completely focused. You've seen it anchored in the Move Forward slide you see over there on your right. She's a wonderful woman. You know, she has a unique skill set of working collectively and collaboratively with all of our stakeholders for the betterment of those students and families. She's a leader. I think her and her team, the work that the leadership team and the cabinet level at the Buffalo Public Schools have accomplished under really trying circumstances over the last 5 months is second to none. You're going to see a community strategic plan today that is built by listening and feedback about what students want, what parents want, what stakeholders want, that will be implemented over the course of her next 3 years. You know, in her 5-month tenure, she's invited all to the table who are interested in supporting the students and families in the school district. And I think that's remarkable, especially consider the period of time we've had over the last number of months. You know, just weeks after she was appointed, or just weeks prior to before she was appointed, we had the school shooting at McKinley and the stabbing of a student. We've been dealing with a global pandemic. She assumed this position mid-year, and she had to lead the school district and her team through the most tumultuous period we've faced after a heinous, murderous, racialized attack took away 10 innocent lives at Tops on Jefferson. The word we heard afterwards was the unspeakable trauma this caused with students, with staff, and it really immobilized our city for a couple days. But Dr. Williams stayed on the front lines. She opened up Mikowski as a reconnection site for impacted families who needed to hear about their loved ones. She stayed at that site until midnight and only left after every single family had been notified. And that's leadership. You know, these jobs are hard at times, but she always shows up. She stays till the end, and she's centered on leading with love for others and being there to support students and families. You know, another personal story that Tanja shared, which she was open with me sharing today, is that a lot of people didn't know she had 2 family members who were working at Tops that day. You know, while she was there supporting others, she was anxiously waiting to hear word on her own loved ones and family members. They both survived, but I share this because this is who Dr. Williams is at her core. She's going to be there for this community, for our students and families in the toughest of times. She's full of strength and integrity, and that will help us lead forward. You know, this is no easy task, but Dr. Williams is ready. She is not alone. You know, I love that her strategic plan is anchored on both ends in new additions. I had mentioned students and families and also partners. Look at the partners in this room right now. Look at her team. I mean, a best-in-class cabinet. I mean, who doesn't want to hire a Buffalo Public School cabinet member right now, right? Best principals, best support team members, an incredible board, partners, students. We all know the talents that these students bring to the school district every single day and the wonderful things they can accomplish. And I hope at this point we all look around, look left and right at how we can support Dr. Williams, support our public schools. You know, it's impossible to picture a healthy and thriving region without a strong public school system and good access to jobs. And that is the vision that this strategic plan will provide for Dr. Williams. So the Buffalo Public Schools has the right leader for this time, and really any times, with her skill set, in my opinion. And it is my pleasure to introduce the Superintendent of the Buffalo Public Schools, Dr. Tonja Williams.
Bluetooth mode.
My goodness. Wow. Good morning. Buenos dias. and bonjour. I want to thank David and the Say Yes Buffalo family for all that you have done to help support making today happen. I am truly honored that each of you are here with us today. Whether you are in person or listening through our live broadcast, it demonstrates how much you care about the state of our district and the well-being of our children, who are our most precious commodities. I am deeply appreciative of the warm and beautiful introduction today. I want to say to our Board of Education members, our president, Louis Petrucci, who is, I'm sure he shared, a graduate of City Honors School, and to our very own Sharon Belton-Cotman, who was recently appointed as the chairwoman of the Conference of the Big Five School Districts in New York State. Thank you to each board member, to our board president, and to Ms. Belton-Cotman. I know that you all agree that being a board member in a very large school district like Buffalo is not easy. So we truly appreciate your work. To all of our state, county, and certainly our city of Buffalo, our mayor, our common council members who are present, thank you for your constant and unyielding support and for working on all that we work on together as we work to accomplish things, unprecedented things for our children in this school district. Without your efforts, much of what we are accomplishing could not be realized. Thank you. We certainly know that without our business partners and our community-based and civic leaders, we also would not be positioned to accomplish all that we will. And so we are grateful to each and every one of you, whether you are present today or again if you are live streaming, for all that you do as you continue supporting our children, families, and children in the school district. Our higher ed partners who welcome our Buffalo Public School graduates with open arms each year into their learning institutions because they know without a shadow of a doubt that the rigorous and the academic standards that our students have earned from the Buffalo Public Schools make them worthy of acceptance. We thank you. Thank you, Cortland. Accepting a student into your institutions has the possibility to change lives generationally for families. And to the thousands of unsung heroes who are a part of our Buffalo Schools family, our staff, thank you for all that you often quietly go about doing every single day to support the academic and the social-emotional well-being of our children and moving our families forward. We are also extremely appreciative of the 50,000 plus parents and caregivers who are part of our Buffalo Public Schools family, and especially our parent Congress leads who are on the front lines, activating, advocating, not only for their own children, but for the 31,000 children who are part of our school district. Thank you. And finally, to our beautiful, intelligent children who are so full of promise, we thank you for showing up every single day, and we promise to celebrate your brilliance each day. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I believe that you enjoyed quite a treat today as you saw the brilliance and the talent of some of our children who performed today. And I certainly want to thank the staff, the parents, and our children who performed today. And now I know he does not like this. He's sitting all the way in the back. But I have to thank Dr. Cressy, who is the principal, please stand, the principal of this beautiful, historic, and nationally recognized school, City Honors, along with his magnificent staff. Early in my career, I actually worked here at City Honors for several years, and so I really have a deep appreciation for the work that you do here. Now, as you walked into the school today, if you looked to the west, you saw what will be titled as the new Fosdick Field, and this is very exciting, right, Dr. Cashaw? Very exciting. I am announcing for the first time today here that the Buffalo Public Schools is finally in our final stages of purchasing this historic community green space with Mayor Byron W. Brown and the Common Council. This is a true game changer. What this purchase does is that it will allow us, all of us, to restore a beautiful resource to this school and to this beautiful historic neighborhood. A resource that was taken away from the community in 1977. But one of the things that's especially special and remarkable about this is that the idea organically began with this school's community and with this neighborhood. I cannot wait. Very exciting. Now I want to talk about something I'm super excited about. Our recently developed strategic plan. We have a plan. And our district needed a strategic plan that excavated and removed past issues to become anew. And we are anew. One that would advance our narrative, a plan that we would all be focused on achieving a certain set of common goals and have a shared purpose for the work that we are about to embark upon. We now have that. And what I'm really excited about for this plan is that it was community inspired. It was a plan that was developed directly out of our spring listening tour that our district engaged in. Now, of course, my team could have just sat in the confines of our office, and we could have just developed a plan based on what we thought would be best for our students. But instead, we went to the community and we listened to what their vision was for the children in this district. It was a best-in-class example of being customer service conscious, which indicated very simply that we wanted to think with, not for, our community. What we heard from our listening tour is what comprised of the 5 goals that we will be focused on over the next 3 years. Let me be clear. I have a 3-year contract, so we don't have forever. We have 3 years or 1,095 days, 26,280 hours, or 1,578,000 minutes, and our clock is ticking. So the 5 goals that we have set forth to achieve by 25, and I thought that was catchy, 5 by 2025, are as follows. Number 1, to eliminate academic achievement and opportunity gaps, and to ensure that every student, every single student, regardless of their race, ethnicity, gender, disability, sexual orientation, religion, socioeconomic status, language, and/or zip code, will receive an excellent cultural and linguistically relevant education in every single one of our schools, every single day. And we're serious about that. We're very serious about that. Number 2, that all of our students will have access to educational excellence and accelerated learning, as well as learning in operations and facilities just like this, that are sparkling clean, that are welcoming. Every single one of our schools will look and operate just like this. We will be welcoming. We will provide a safe learning environment for our children, and there will be high-quality teaching and learning taking place, which will allow students opportunities to accelerate their learning. Number 3, we will prioritize safety, security, and wellness for all of our students and our staff. Buffalo Public Schools will be implementing best-in-class, evidence-based safety and security measures across all of our schools. Number 4, we will amplify all voices in our community. All have a seat at our table, especially those who have been historically marginalized. We want to continue cultivating trust with this community. That is the only way that we move forward. And so one of our next community efforts will be something that we are calling a community sense tour. We've had a listening tour. Now we're going to go back to the community and do a community sense tour. Where does the community sense we are in implementing our strategic plan? That will be something that we will be embarking upon this winter and/or spring, depending on the weather. And finally, our 5th goal will be to continue activating new partnerships which will continue to expand students' learning and safety beyond the classroom. We know that we cannot do it all. These were the concerns when we looked at the data from our listening tour and we disaggregated it and we looked at patterns, and regardless of the zip code or the location where we were, a school, community center, or a church, that we heard parents and the community want to ensure from our district for all of their children. Now, we needed this plan because, as you know, the Buffalo Public Schools is a very large organization. We are the second largest school district in New York State. And as with any large billion-dollar organization, it can be challenging to have the discipline to stay focused when there are so many issues that are competing for your attention. And the Buffalo Schools is no different. We certainly have had our share of issues these last several years. Our normal way of schooling was radically changed from traditional in-person teaching and learning to teaching using online and remote pedagogies. Extremely different and not very easy. It then went from remote learning to implementing a hybrid model of teaching and learning, which was a combination of the in-person and the online. And with each of those changes, our staff, students, and families had to adjust on a pivot. What an impact on education COVID-19 has had. And that COVID-19 virus was very, very tricky, continuously mutating and causing the numbers of people contracting the virus to steadily increase. Unfortunately, its most detrimental impact was by far on poor communities of color who had less access to medical care and who resided in areas where there were food deserts. Unfortunately, this is where many of our children and families reside. Thus, the impact on our children, our babies, was learning loss, feelings of fear and anxiety, mental health issues, anger and confusion, trauma, grief, and yes, even loss. But what did we do? We huddled with our various partners, including our New York State Governor Kathy Hochul's office, the Erie County Department of Health, the City of Buffalo mayoral staff, private physicians, community center staff, our supplemental health care partners, and the community health worker network, all to do what was necessary to actually save lives. We created a stellar plan which implemented science-based strategies that would mitigate that any of our children or staff would come in contact with this virus in any of our schools or on any of our buses. Our schools became a hub in our communities where families could go and receive vaccines and testing supplies during school hours, after school hours, and even on weekends. In addition, we worked with our Say Yes Buffalo partners to ensure that every single school had viable mental health clinics operating in them with highly trained, licensed social workers who complemented our own social work guidance counselor and school psychologist staff to provide the much-needed trauma-informed, culturally relevant counseling that our children needed. And I hope that this will continue for this coming school year. We knew that to levy the playing field, that our children would also, because of the learning loss, need extended learning time. And so again, we worked with our community constituents to create a committee to see how we could do just that in the midst of experiencing a global pandemic, and we did. And so last spring, we were able to open our schools longer during a school day and beginning our Saturday Academy programs on Saturdays, which have serviced thousands of children and families in our community. We also just ended a very robust and exciting summer school program that offered a litany of learning activities for our children, including sports camps, and for the second year, the Mayor's Summer Earn While You Learn, that's a tongue twister, Summer Earn While You Learn program, which allowed more than 110 Buffalo Public School students who needed to attend summer school to recover credits and graduate, or to be promoted to the next grade level, to use their time this summer learning as their summer job. They did not need to choose between finishing school and earning wages for themselves and or their families, and we thank you for that. We also partnered with the mayor's staff to initiate the Mayor's Summer Reading Challenge. And I learned yesterday that we have more than 1,600 students who have already participated, and those numbers are increasing. And this is a program that encourages and rewards our children to read over the summer, because when they don't, they come back to school experiencing literacy losses. And so this is huge. I can't wait until October when we celebrate all of the children who have participated in this program. These efforts are in direct alignment with our first and second strategic goals. And these goals were created by our offices of academic instruction, cultural and linguistically responsive initiatives, and student support services. They have done a magnificent job in creating also an academic achievement plan. That plan will help our teachers and our principals to have a clear understanding of what students must know and be able to do at the end of each class and each marking period. There will be interim assessments that children will be taking, and all of this work will deliberately uplift our expectation, and this is important, our expectation that all of our children will be reading proficiently by the end of third grade. Amen. This coming January, we will be opening 2 classrooms for children, our little learners, who are 3 years old, in collaboration with Say Yes. Now, this is in addition to the 3Y program that exists at our wonderful Bennett Park Montessori School. We are very excited about this expansion, as it will provide young learners with an opportunity for increasing their literacy skills, enhancing their vocabulary to develop important social skills, and to become emotionally and socially secure with schooling. Very exciting, more to come on that. As a side note, this year, I'm pleased to share that all of our children have been placed in their school assignments for the fall, and that is huge. They are all placed. Our parents have been informed, and this is in alignment with us becoming much more customer service ready and being transparent with our data. Very excited about that. But now I must switch to have a frank conversation about school safety, which is what our third goal focuses on. There is nothing more important than the safety of our children and staff, every single one. We are in troubling times and are taking concerted efforts to help to ensure safety on all of our school campuses as our students travel to and from school. Last February, we had a very unfortunate incident that happened right outside on one of our school grounds, where a student conflict led to the stabbing of one of our dear students, who I know we are all continuing to uplift, that expedited healing takes place, and the shooting, listen closely, the shooting of one of our beloved school security officers, who is very close to me personally. Awful. And during my 32 years of working in this district, never have I ever known us to experience such a dreadful and frightening situation, one that we must and we will do everything within our power to never experience in our district ever again. Thusly, we have implemented improved safety and security protocols. We have updated our school security plans. We have hired additional Buffalo Public School security officers. We have ordered tools for our schools to help make them safe. And we have worked and will continue to work closely with Buffalo Police Commissioner Gramalia and his team of school resource officers, along with our NFTA Chief Patterson and his officers, to maintain and enhance safety in our schools and on our buses. We are also creating a division to address issues of school safety and security swiftly. We have hired additional bus aides for our yellow school buses to help our buses to also be safe. But we continue to look for more bus aides and drivers, and so please message that if you know of people who are looking for good, viable jobs. We in the Buffalo Public Schools are hiring, so please send them our way. And speaking of buses, it is important to know that our community is doing all that we can to address a national bus driver shortage crisis. It is not a Buffalo Public School issue. It is not a First Student issue. It is a national crisis. And so we put together a diverse committee of stakeholders to brainstorm and to come up with some plans so that our children are not standing on corners waiting for buses for extended periods of time. None of us want that to happen. Now, despite our efforts to increase hiring more drivers by increasing wages and even offering signing bonuses, we are still not where we were prior to COVID. But here is where we are with addressing this crisis. We have been proactive in informing parents to please be prepared, unfortunately, for possible delays. We are asking parents to download an app that is called First View, which will let them know in real time when their children's buses will arrive at their stops. And it is my hope that that will alleviate some of their anxiousness. We are also ensuring that our schools are prepared for children who may not be picked up from school at their normal hours. And so we want to make sure that we have adequate staff prepared to supervise the children. In the afternoon, we have ordered nutritious, healthy, and I'm hoping good tasting snacks for the children who may be staying later. We are looking to purchase bus passes for parents who may be willing to bring their children to school. We have been working with our Erie County Clerk, Mickey Kearns, who is prepared to work with our staff to offer test preparation so that folks who are interested in becoming bus drivers have the opportunity to prepare for what I am told is a very complicated and difficult exam that you have to take in order to get your CDL license. And finally, we are continuing to explore piloting the opportunity to reimburse parents with a mileage stipend for if they transport their own children to and from school. I have been in communication through robocalls with our families. I really wish I could wave a magic wand and that this problem would be solved. If I could, I know that you know I would, but it is a complex national problem, and we are doing all that we can to make sure that our parents are informed. And so twice a week, I'm in communication through robocall with our parents. We will also be messaging it on our webpage. And so if there are parents that are listening, you can find out information on our webpage, and you can expect updates from me on Sundays and on Wednesdays. We have also updated our wellness policy and our code of conduct so that it is restorative and trauma-informed, but make no mistakes. Acts of extreme violence in our schools will not be tolerated. It will be handled swiftly and severely. In helping us to keep our Buffalo schools safe, we have partnered with a host of valued and recent partners who know and understand our children and the communities that they come from, and they have joined forces with us to enhance safety. Some of these partners include the Peacemakers, Back to Basics, MVP, Mad Dads, GYC, and Reverend Frederick Gelsey, each of whom play a valuable role in serving as credible partners, helpers, who are assisting us by creating safe passages for our students as they come to school and as they travel home from school. They have been mentoring our most needy students and advocating for our children and our parents. Thank you, Pastor Giles and your teams. I'm almost done. Our district's My Brother's Keepers program, which is known at state and national levels, provides culturally enriching learning opportunities that increase students' cultural capital. And I must say, each year I have seen it grow and get better and better. In addition, our Say Yes Buffalo organization also provides evidence-based mentoring for young men in a program that is titled Breaking Barriers. The result of all of these efforts is beginning to take hold, and this summer we saw fewer behavioral infractions amongst our youth. On a good note, the Buffalo schools will begin this fall with a formal modified sports program. Another game changer, another game changer. It will be for both male and female students who are in grades 5 through 8. More to come on this. Now, switching gears to the state of our fiscal well-being, I want to inform you that we use a lens of equity for all of our school-based budgeting and processes. We are the 6th largest employer in the city of Buffalo with close to 7,000 employees. We work collectively with 11 different collective bargaining unions, and for the first time that I can ever recall, we have 10 settled contracts, 10 of the 11. That's huge. That is not easy work. Our general counsel works tirelessly to make sure that that happens along with our Board of Education staff. And we want to secure that 11th contract as expeditiously as we can. 4 of these have been signed under my limited 5-year tenure, and I'm excited about that. Very excited. 5 months. I think I gave myself about 55 extra months there. Maybe we can extend my contract. I don't know, you know. As I begin concluding, I hope that I have conveyed for you that it is truly a new day for the Buffalo Public Schools. We know that not all things have been changed, where suddenly all of our children are reading and writing on grade level. We know that that's going to take some time. But the word on the street, the talk of the town, is that our district is changing and is quickly becoming a school system that is working intentionally, deliberately, and collectively with our family partners, with our community, to create the following conditions, wherein all of our students will be successful, wherein the core curriculum will include cultural and linguistically sensitive methodologies and pedagogies that is all research and evidence-based. It will not be a supplement, but it will be a true inclusion. Wherein all of our children will have opportunities to accelerate their learning, wherein all students will have opportunities to engage in dual enrollment, taking college courses in high school, wherein all children will be able to engage in advanced placement classes at every single one of our high schools, wherein all students will be safe and emotionally well in all of our schools and on all of our buses, wherein students as young as 3 years old can be enrolled in free and formal education to prepare them for the rigors of pre-K and kindergarten, wherein more students will be positioned to participate in taking algebra, a high school course, in 8th grade because they have received advanced programming in grades 6 and 7. Wherein parents are valued and true partners, and where we will together engage in shared decision-making processes, wherein all of our third graders will leave third grade reading and writing proficiently. And finally, wherein our students and our community's voice is heard and supported and welcomed at the table. This new vision for our district states, we have a new vision, and what it says is, welcome to the Buffalo Public Schools, where excellence is our primary expectation with no excuses. The time is always right to do what is right, especially for children. We are determined that the next 3 years will be a period that you will see high academic performance in. You should expect to see more of our students graduating from high school and more enrolling in our 3Y and pre-K programs. In closing, I would like to, just for a few moments, speak to our parents and caregivers to reiterate that we need you. We cannot do this work without you. Please remember that your children will only stress if you stress. Our children will only be angry and anxious if you are angry and anxious. Our children feed off of us as adults. They get their cues from us. And so I'm asking parents to help us to address and overcome obstacles that impact their children by reacting calmly and restoratively as you engage with your children's teachers and/or principals. Link arms with us and make sure that your children are in school and prepared every single day, that they're connecting with their teachers every day, and that they are ready for the rigors of their instruction every day. Please work cooperatively with your child's principals and assistant principals. I am now inviting all of you to support our efforts. If you have not stepped up to the plate, please be encouraged to do so. If you have not been engaged, by all means, get engaged. This is the time. It's not about one person. It's about all of us working together collectively to ensure that our students are successful. Thank you for joining us today. Let us all continue to be safe and committed to the success of the Buffalo Public Schools, and let us speak with one voice for one vision to achieve one mission. Thank you so much.
One voice,